So, I don't think many people realize that if you buy the Steam version, or most likely the original version of Alan Wake, you get a bunch of special stuff. These Sadly, this is not in the. Well, we'll look at that to see for sure. But there is a bunch of things here, like data. We got videos. Oh, these are not videos. um, like, we got the soundtrack. It's crazy. Third party. Okay. But these are the ones we want to look at. The Alan Wake files, the bonus material stuff. So we'll start with the Alan Wake files first. Did I just open up? Ew, no. Never mind. No. Firefox. So yeah, the Alan Wake files. It was compiled by Clay Stewart. Roundabout Press, New York and Olympia. To all those who walk in the light. Unless otherwise noted. Organization. Oh, this is the warning from Microsoft. And Remedy. See, like I said, I kind of feel like, before we talk about it, I think the reason why Remedy took so long to do Alan Wake 2, I think I think they were waiting for the pretty much the timer on Alan Wake and Microsoft to go up. Like the contract that they were in, which essentially allowed them to finally be free from Microsoft because preface. Okay. Nightingale Field Notes, okay. The book you hold in your hands represent the end of one life and the beginning of another. My name is Clay Stewart, and I began on this path. Can I zoom in a little bit? Can I? There we go. Oh. Hang on. Because we want to line it up with the... Well, yeah, let's do that. Oh, my name is Clay Stewart. I began this path. There's a lot of pages here, by the way. This path with a series of strange dreams turned out to be visions of a real man, a town in trouble, and a power of destructive force beyond my imagination. 2 years ago, if someone had asked me who Alan Wake was or where the town of Bright Falls was located, I would have been stumped on both accounts 2 years ago. So, see, everything takes place, I think, in 2010. So that's when the story was released. My life had, up to that point, been untouched by either of these particulars. And perhaps for the better. But I cannot change the past. I can only try to make sense of it. And with the publication of this book, perhaps gain some measure of forgiveness from those I hurt along the way. I will explain how I became involved in these events, but if there's one thing I need you to understand, it's that the strange disturbances that shook Bright Falls in the weeks preceding the Deer Fest of last year represent one of the greatest mysteries of our time. This book began as a personal attempt to understand and solve those mysteries. Now I fear that may be impossible. I hope merely to exorcise them. And by doing so, to relinquish their claims upon me. I lived a quiet life in Madison, Wisconsin, until the dreams started, recurring dreams, all pointing me to a particular place. My first dream was nothing at all. I'm alone in a cabin at night, in the night, opposite the lighthouse at Raincoat Point near Bright Falls. just as it appeared in my recurring dreams. The lighthouse. Let's see. I think you read from this, and this, right? Someone knocks, and I step out onto the porch. There's no one there, but the lantern is broken in what I take to be a very meaningful way. That's how it strikes me. The second dream is the same as the first, except that after I find the broken lamp, I hear something in the forest. I think I see movement. I follow it to the forest edge, but then it stops. The third dream follows the course of the to accept. The sounds get louder and louder. Trees falls, and it's as though as I'm caught in a storm. I run away and down the road till I get to an ocean. To the ocean, there's a lighthouse. It's obvious to my dream logic that I would be safe there. A man holds the lighthouse door open and frantically waves towards him. I run and run, chased by this thing, this omnipresence. And in the last possible moment, I'm consumed. I cease to exist. Soon I'm having these dreams every night, and it's the same each time. I'm chased by this dark monster, or men consumed by shadows, and again. I see this man in his early 30s, with a strong but friendly face. Sometimes I save his life, other times he saves mine. But we always die in the end. I start staying up later and later, trying to avoid sleep. My wife and my little boy are safe in their beds, and I'm up at 3 a.m. watching the tube, serving through a wasteland of soap and slaughter, trying to stay awake. Oh, but you can't stay awake forever. Sure, you can, if you know how. Late one night, I'm watching reruns of the old show Night Springs, but I keep nodding off. In the twilight between dreaming and waking, I hear the voice of the man from my dreams he is talking to me saying, I'm not interested in literary critiques or in questions of genres versus literary fantasy fiction. I want a good story, well told, and I'll take it where I can get it. My eyes flitter open, and there he is, the nameless man from my dreams. He is on my frickin' television set, being interviewed at a round wooden table with two other men. I always sleep from the couch, and I'm more awake than I have ever been in my life. I watch and watch till another question is directed at this man, and the caption appears: Alan Wake, author of The Sudden Stop. It's entirely possible, even likely, that considering Wake's fame, I've seen his picture before and performed some unconscious copy/paste work. But I knew things about him from my visions, things that I hadn't read. In the days following my discovery, I obsessively researched his writings, read everything I could to get my hands on, and it only confirmed that he was the same man with whom I've been trapped in my nightly hellscape. His detective, Alex Casey, resembled him, and they shared the same grim humor, even when death felt certain. I'm convinced that my dreams represented a shared experience with Alan Wake. More than that, they were a warning. I wrote a long and passionate letter to Mr. Wake's publishers, but only received a postcard noting my letter's receipt and encouraging me to purchase Wake's latest book. Huh. So wait, is he trying to say that he tried to warn them about this? But of course, the publishers just set it aside. Every time I re-entered the dream world, I became an obsessive observer of this strange dimension. There seemed to be an underwater world populated by unknowables. Dark forces whose only desire was to destroy me. I was a diligent transcriber of those awful visions, and every time I woke, I updated the dream journal I had started. My wife Anna and I hardly spoke anymore. Of course. I felt myself becoming increasingly disengaged from my former life. The journal was the one thing that helped me make sense of what I was experiencing. The dreams continued, becoming more and more horrific over the following months. Only one thing was clear: Alan Wake was somehow at the center of what I was experiencing. In fact, he was the cause of everything I was experiencing. Each night I was killed, or I witnessed others killed. Finally, I saw the small town destroyed and a whole world consumed by darkness, and it was all his fault. I didn't blame him for it, but I had to make contact with him to tell him what I'd seen, to warn him. While researching lighthouses at the university library, I happened upon an image of the lighthouse from my dreams. This hit me like a thunderclap. It was located outside a town called Bright Falls. An internet image search revealed a scrapbook of my visions. It was this small, picturesque town in Washington State. Fishing, logging, bad weather. The buildings, streets, and bridges were all those from my nightmare. I had seen it all before. I couldn't deny it anymore, and my decision was made for me. I bought a $165 ticket on a Greyhound bus and arrived in Bright Falls 2 days later. I admit that things didn't feel right from the beginning. I lived in enough Midwestern ergs to know what economic blight looks like up close in this, and this wasn't that. Something that happened here. There were bullet holes in buildings and a general air of civil disturbance. What? There was talk of tornadoes and a troubling number of women dressed in mourning clothes. There were 3 funerals the first day, all held for local fathers and husbands and wives, all held in abstaining. When I asked people what had happened here, some mentioned freak storms and an annual town party that was preceded by horrible accidents. Most would not apply at all. They shook their heads and walked away, that stricken look of survivor guilt crimping their faces. They avoided my questions as though I was probing into some town shame, some big secret no one dared reveal. I know how strange that sounds, but it felt as though the whole town was being held hostage. Like they'd been told they were being watched, and if they spoke to anyone, there would be more deaths and more after that. I checked in the room number 2 at the Majestic Motel. Oh boy. So Clay Stewart was he managed to get room number 2, which is what's his name? Agent Nightingale's room that he had. It smelled of stale alcohol and cigarettes, with a fair dose of what I now recognize as fierce sweat. Ew. I had no idea how long I would spend here, but I unpacked my bags, all except for my dream journal. I took my pocket knife from my backpack and drew out the Phillips head, climbed up to the air vent, and unscrewed the panel, thinking myself very clever, even though I've seen this trick in a couple of movies. Well, I guess someone else had too, because it was there that I found the green cardboard box. I pulled it out and opened it up on the bed. A cache of documents. Some 3 thick Melina folders thick. I saw the name of its author. I understood that this was the end of another's journey. Special Agent Robert Nightingale of the FBI. My months of pain, my disintegrating marriage, my confusion all washed through me. This is what the dreams had pointed me to. This room in Bright Falls, Washington. So he found a cardboard box that apparently had his Nightingale's files and stuff in it. There are some who will question the authenticity of my find and consider it an elaborate hoax or the product of a broken mind, but I am not deterred. The longer I spent with Nightingale's dossier, the more I became convinced that I had found a fellow traveler. He may have been drunk, insane with grief, or a kind of madness that has no name, but he was onto something. And subsequent investigation has proven. Alan Wake had just been in Bright Falls. His wife, Alice, had disappeared. A series of chaotic and unexplained events leading to missing and dead persons, the destruction of buildings, reports of shadow men and monsters followed soon after. I had arrived at the edge of a great and foreboding secret. I set out from the Majestic the next day to search out the truth for myself. Oh boy. Nightingale's Field Notes. Ooh. The handwritten notes found among Nightingale's effects form perhaps the most telling documents in the collection about his internal struggles as he pursued Alan Wake. Okay. The mixture of driving forces create a maelstrom of turbulence inside a man, not unlike Wake, trying to hold himself together while pursuing a quixotic goal. The notes are presented here as facsimile form to give readers the same sense of physical texture I found when I discovered them. Here, Nightingale inadvertently exposes his torture, ambivalence, alongside his dogged determination. These ghosts from his past battle with the demons he meets in his present. As for his future, there seems to be nothing brighter than doubt. It is unclear whether this cache represents the entirety of the notes he took, or simply a portion. They do, however, suggest that Nightingale was at the breaking point, both physically and mentally. Whether the abrupt end of his field notes was the result of sheer exhaustion on the agent's part, or another more this explanation, I am unable to determine. Oh, God. Day 1. Exhausted. Missed the turnoff. Took 2 hours longer than planned. Trees are pretty, but hell, they all look alike. This place really is in the middle of nowhere, and not the exact middle. That would be too easy. Sun's already down. Hotel stinks. And not even in a good Chicago way. Majestic, my ass. Got to check in with the local Johnny Law in the morning. Haven't really grilled the local yokels yet. Don't think the moron at the front desk counts. Wish I had Burroughs backing. Some official resources would help. But then there'd be a lot of explaining to do, and I've got no better way to burn my free time. Still have a few favors I can call in if I need some heavy lifting. Better this way. So this is him showing up at the Majestic and realizing how bad it is, at least. But who's Johnny Law? Who's Johnny Law? Oh. Okay. Oh, got to check in with the local. Okay, Johnny Law means police officers, which means Sarah. I thought it was a person's name. My fault. Johnny Law turns out to be Jane Law, because I forgot his mind is deteriorating to the point he just calls out random names and stuff, calling someone based on their job, like. Instead of saying sheriff, he's like Johnny Law. And when it comes to Alan, it's like calling him every writer and every horror novel writer under the sun or moon at this point. At that point, Johnny Law turns out to be Jane Law, Sheriff Breaker, comes from cop family, knows diddly squat, usual hostility to feds. Don't know whether to use honey or salt on this one. Don't know if I have enough honey in me. She did make the phone call I needed. Let's consider her plausible. palatable. I mean, diner's a great place to get all friendly with the townies. They had a cardboard cutout of Wake prop near the door. One of the waitresses is supposed to be a big fan. Hmm. Okay. When I talked to Sheriff Breaker later, she revealed a different point of view than the one Agent Nightingale expresses here. She believed our relationship was cordial and cooperative. The hostility he speaks of here may well reveal more about the agent's predisposition than any actual exchange between the two law enforcement officers. Breaker would not comment on the nature of the call she was asked to make, and when I asked her about Nightingale's current whereabouts, she turned around and wished me luck. Our interview at an end. Yeah, because nobody knows. Sheriff Breaker not pleased to see Agent Nightingale's camera. Oh, here we go. Day 2, afternoon. How to get to our boy before he hurts anyone? That's the $1,000,000 question. Do these people know what they're dealing with here? Good God, it's like watching toddlers play with nitro. Interviewed locals at trailer park. Suspect there's something behind all these dopey country facades. Everyone knows more than they're telling, or maybe they just don't, which is even scarier. Wake did a number on that waitress, sweet kid, but can't tell night from day. Huh. When Nightingale refers to our boy, it can only be assumed he means Alan Wake. Yeah, our boy. What is not clear is why Nightingale is so afraid of what Wake might do. Although Wake has a history of erratic behavior, it's not associated with anything that would give an experienced FBI agent concern. Nightingale seems equally unnerved and suspicious of the locals, and more than that, he evidences a genuine fear of an undetermined someone or something. Yeah. So this is day 2 afternoon. So okay, if we were gonna go through the 7, yeah, if we were gonna go through the 7, because Alan missed a week. Okay, Alan wasted a week. So day 2 for mm, see, that's the weird thing about this. Is this when? Because she's talking about Wake did a number on that waitress, sweet kid, but can't tell night from day, which means this is after. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Based on the license plates, this car had been rented by Alice Wake. It's unknown whether Nightingale's explanation of the car crash site yielded any leads to her whereabouts or those of her husband. Yeah, that's the car. But I'm still trying to figure out because he's numbered on that waitress, which means he's. This is afternoon. It should have been night. Let me see day 3. Noises last night. Some damn animal went out again. Got lost again. Goddamn trees. Of course. Can't believe how slippery some guys are. Talked to the front desk moron this morning. Didn't seem to know zip about Wake. Got real quiet when I mentioned him, in fact. Could be he just ran out of thoughts. I'm getting nothing out of these people. Nightingale's commentary on his encounters with the motel staff reveals both his growing frustration with the pace of his investigation and his distrust of the locals. His report of strange noises in the night, his confession of getting lost again on a serve to highlight his vulnerability as he tries to navigate the unfamiliar terrain. Bright Falls represents a dangerous landscape of nightingale to nightingale, and perhaps to any others who cross its boundary. Nightingale's photo of Stucky's gas station, which he would have seen upon his arrival at Bright Falls, appears to have been abandoned. Yeah. So, hang on. Here we go. Day 3 night. Scanner picked up confused distress call response. Domestic violence or burglary. Or vandalism. Or kidnapping. Deputy Dog can't decide. Little Jane Law's got her hands full. Things here are just strange enough that I'm sure I'm on the right track. Found Wake's agent. Followed him a bit. Tubby tried to lose me. Maybe Wake's so slippery because his buddy's so slimy. It's difficult to break through Nightingale's tough law enforcement facade at times, even when he's writing his inner thoughts. But reading between the lines may be illuminative. While Nightingale's entry regarding the scanner audio may be nothing more than a small town deputy handling routine crime calls, why would he bother noting them? Given his state of mind in the earlier entries, it seems more likely that Nightingale found the garbled distress calls suggestive of paranormal activity. Let's go backwards a little bit. So, okay, so this is day 3 night, which means this is practically, day 3 is practically 4. Can't go on like this. Daylight is harsh when there's no sleep. Saw Lady Diogenes with her lamp and broad daylight. I forgot her real name. Got it written somewhere. How to get to Wake? Is someone hiding him? Extremism in the case of sanity is no vice. Whatever it takes. Local hedge drinker's name keeps coming up. Hartman. Okay, so Nightingale's reference to Lady Dionysus refers to the Greek philosopher who walked around ancient Athens with a lamp during the day for the stated purpose of looking for an honest man. Clearly, he was referring to Cynthia Wheeler, a well-known town eccentric who may have been more prescient about the dangers of darkness than anyone could have predicted. Also of note is the mention of Dr. Emil Hartman, who has been unresponsive to my interview request. Later notes clearly show Nightingale to be suspicious of Hartman's practice at the Cauldron Lake Lodge. Okay, so, alright, so Nightingale met Cynthia Weaver. Okay. And now he knows about Hartman. Didn't sleep a wink. Scanner just got weirder through the night. Wake is one elusive bugger. Is he the only one? Is it him holding up the whole house of cards? What'll happen when I fall? When I pull? Wish I could be sure, but not to decide is to decide. Have to do what's necessary when the time comes. Feels like I'm alone in the wilderness here. Nightingale's impatience toward the end of these notes is palpable. This is the first instance where he questions Wake's status as a solitary force. Manifold questions remain, such as why he believed Wake to be such a source of danger. Had Nightingale been drawn to Bright Falls as I was by a series of dreams and nightmares? I'm compelled to think he was acting on harder evidence than was available to me. Could this be an ongoing investigation referred to in my FOIA request? See page 123. The desolate landscape surrounding Bright Falls seems pushed up out of the heart of the earth, rejected by the planet itself. Ever present yet? I forgot to read these parts. The streets of Light Falls in the days before. Dear Fest. Okay, this is day 4 afternoon. A partner isn't like a coworker, or a friend, or even a brother. He's your guardian, your keeper, your other wife. Ugh. He keeps you on the dead straight, calls you on everything the others let slide, and he has your back when the shooting starts. That's where I failed, Finn. I owe it to him to keep going even when everything's gone dark, when the craziest back east started. He couldn't explain it either. That's when he needed me most, but I blew it. I have to make it right. This is a rarity. One of the few instances where Nightingale reveals his heart and consequently some objective information about his motivation. That he lost a partner in the line of duty has been confirmed by my investigation, but the circumstances around that loss remain murky indeed. Clearly, he holds himself responsible in some fundamental way. Had Nightingale witnessed similar events before? How did these experiences transform him? Again, all we have is supposition and conjecture. Despite hours of scrutiny, I have been unable to determine why Agent Nightingale chooses to record this somber moment. So here's night. Hartman seems to be the big man on campus, very protective of his patients. Skimmed through his self-help book. What a load. He's got a sweet little racket going at the lodge. Gut tells me he's involved in all this somehow. Going for a drive. Can't think in here. Am I going down like Finn? Not if I shoot first. Night much later. Sounds are getting weirder all the time. Something's happening just out of town. By the farm. Out by the farm. Flashes of light, too. Could be kids with firecrackers. Getting edgy and starting a barn fire. Probably ought to get some batteries for this stupid flashlight if there's time. Do I have it in me to do what's necessary when the time comes? Interviews. So this is day 4 night. The following interviews. I forgot how long this book is. It's 73 pages. The following interviews with various citizens of Bright Falls were conducted by agent over the course of 3 or 4 days. Nightingale recorded each of them on microcassettes, and I have transcribed them myself. It has been a painstaking process, as the sound quality on some of them is very poor. Some of the interviews were more successful than others, yet all show a reluctance to speak about the town. All are included here, however, to form a more complete picture of characters and events. Most of them present Agent Nightingale in a very poor light, and I admit I considered leaving these out altogether. I have a great deal of respect for him and believe they don't paint a complete picture of this deeply conflicted man. Exactly. In the interest of honesty, I decided to include each one of them. I implore the reader to bear in mind that this is a man under tremendous pressure. I believe that taking as a whole, these interviews reveal something of a tapestry of the town, and the tapestry cannot help but have an impact on the writer who was caught up in it, for better or worse. The picture was obtained from 9-year-old Olin Kittle, an avid photographer and civil law enthusiast. The unknown subject. Moth. It's unclear who the subject of this brief interview is. Agent Nightingale himself appeared to know. Accompanying notes indicate that he ran into the man in the Wood Natural Park while trying to find Alan Wake, but the circumstances are unclear. The interview was conducted outdoors, and judging by the sound quality and the tone of the interview, it's likely Nightingale started instantly turned his tape recorder on without the man's knowledge. Although the identity of the interview subject remains uncertain, townsfolk to whom I've showed this photo insist that it was a local troublemaker known as Mott. Been in a fight. What happened? It's nothing. You seen anything weird here? How about this guy, Alan Wake? He's not in his cabin. Do you know where he is? Have you seen him? The man laughs. Is that funny to you? You should leave the whole thing alone. You don't know what you're messing with. Is that right? And you do, huh? What's your name? What's it to you? You see this badge, buddy? I asked the question. Government, huh? You gonna put me in the system, government man? Huh? Well, a new system's on its way. What do you think about that? I think we're gonna talk about this down at the station. A pause. You deaf? Let's go, buddy. If I still have my gun. What the hell did you say? Running here, you asshole. Arrest. Yeah. They fought. I guess Mott got away. I mean, that's what it was clear. I'm gonna fight. I wonder if this is after, I wonder if this is after, he came face to face with Alan the first time. And then fell off the side. After he got a good punch. Because that's what Alan got a good punch on Mott. Paul Randolph is the manager of the Sparkling River Estates trailer park, where some kind of incident involving the police and Alan Wake took place. The sequence demonstrates Nightingale's interview skills and professionalism as he manages to coax an obviously reluctant witness into cooperating with him. I can't help thinking that this is an echo of a man before the loss of his partner and the events that led to it. Oh boy. Interviewing Mr. Paul Randolph, manager of the Sparkling River Estates trailer park. I'm not sure I want to talk to you. Yeah, I've been getting that a lot around here. Tough luck. We need to sort this out. You could have hit me. Yeah, this is after after Nightingale decided to shoot him without even an explanation. Sir, I'm a highly trained federal agent. You are in no danger. Yeah, but someone said you were drunk. That appalls. Do I seem drunk to you, huh? I guess not. These damn people. Okay, look, sir, I know you had a scare, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, one who called the police. I know you're a good guy here. It's just that the man I'm after is real bad news. I had to take the shot, you know? I know you were just concerned for the girl, Rose. Yes, sir. Well, you know she's not doing too good right now. And if we're going to help her, we're going to need to call in. I'm going to need all the information you can give us, okay? I guess. Well, those guys were in Rose. I thought, wait a minute. Rose isn't that kind of girl. What's that about? Because, you know, I've been in this business a long time, and some girls, they do a little business of their own. Yeah, I don't put up with that, you know? I tell them to move on. I'm no prude. But I don't want that in my place. But I knew Rose wasn't up to nothing like that, so it was weird these guys staying in her trailer like that. Those guys were, yeah, Wake and the loudmouth and the puffy jacket. I don't know that guy, but I recognized right away because Rose is always going on about him. She gave me a couple of his books to read. He's pretty good, but I read the papers too, you know. So I know he's got in trouble a lot. Anyway, they were there the whole goddamn day. Nobody even came out for a smoke or nothing, because I was working outside the whole time and I would have seen them. You hear anything, talking, arguing, any noise at all? No, sir, I wasn't that close. I mean, the way these Sir Bill, I'm sure I would have heard. I would have heard if any shouting or something, sure, but there wasn't nothing, and I knew she'd skip work today too, so I got worried. I mean, it's not my business what people do in their own homes, but I know Rose pretty well. Yeah, I got to thinking that maybe she's in trouble. The way you guys showed up, I guess I was right, huh? Go on. About the whole thing, like a hunch, like something nasty's going was going down in a trailer, and okay. So I called the sheriff. Well, the only problem is, yeah. So this is after Marigold. Miss Marigold appears to have great difficulties focusing on the topic at hand. It is only with persistence that Nightingale manages to reach her. It's unclear what happened to her, and the identity of the woman she refers to remains unknown. I did find it touching that even though Nightingale appears to be unrelenting and brisk in his interactions with people, it's he's clearly affected by Miss Marigold's distress. He generally feels her pain, and for a brief moment, he seeks to put away his obsession with the case. Oh yeah, we didn't. Avoiding eye contact. Oh, that's Rose's trailer in the background. Her repeated reference to that lady and the woman in black indicates that Rake is not the perpetrator. Following is an interview with Rose Marigold, 21, an employee at Oh Dear Diner in Bright Falls. Rose, hey. Okay. My name is Nightingale. I'm a federal agent. I need to ask you some questions, okay? I hear you were seeing Rusty, is that right? The park manager? I like Rusty. He never shouts at me. I gave him free coffee at the diner. Anyone, or I think maybe they know everybody likes Rusty. Something happened at Elderwood. We can't find Rusty. Do you know anything about him? Rusty. Let me see. I'm losing patience here. I need some. Is it day or night? Why is it dark in here? First, this is a really important to ask you. See, that's the thing. She's asking if it's day and night and thinks it's still dark. That's like, you really think that a writer could pull that off? I mean, like a normal person could manipulate apparently the whatever is going on there. Bros, this is really important. I need to talk to you about Alan Wake. I'm his biggest fan. Yeah, I heard. He was at Elderwood too. Do you know anything about what happened here? There, why was he at your place? His new book's gonna be the best possible roller coaster ride. Uh-huh. What did he want with you? What happened? Am I awake? Is this a dream? You're awake. Just answer my... I can't. Who was that lady? She made me do it. What lady? What did you do? Did Wake hurt you? No, he wouldn't. Him, didn't I? I lied to him. I didn't want to. It was like it wasn't me. I keep I kept screaming and my mouth wouldn't move. I still can't see right. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Supposed to. She twisted it. Who? Do you mean his wife, Alice? The woman in black. It was about his manuscript. He wanted it back. We were supposed to talk about that. Discuss a literary discussion with me. Are you Jeez, Nightingale. No, why would you? He's married. He wouldn't want that. He's not. So what were you up to in your trailer? I'm not a person. I didn't want to hurt him. Oh, this isn't. I can't tell anymore. What's wrong with the world? Everything looks wrong now and the light hurts my eyes. Yeah. Everything looks wrong. It's all wrong. Please stop crying. I won't ask you any more questions. Wow, he actually cares there. Moves the comforter. So yeah, the thing about this though is Wake already had a feeling of what he already knew what happened to Rose and doesn't hold it against her in the end. Especially if you find the pages, it's unclear why Wake's agent Barry Wheeler is being interviewed, but clearly this is somehow connected with the events at the trailer park. I tried to contact Wheeler several times, but he refuses to talk to me. Certain later legal proceedings, I decided to abandon all of my attempts on that front. Man, Barry Wheeler was talking to Barry Wheeler, a literary agent. What's that? I'm recording you. I told you. How are you feeling, Wheeler? How do you think I'm feeling? I feel like shit. Did you arrest Rose? That's an ongoing investigation. Can't discuss it. Yes, you can. Can he? Yeah, you're just worried about You just worry about yourself, Wheeler. Why? Am I under arrest? Not yet. Let's see if you can keep it that way. Well, wait. You're his friend, right? And his agent. We go back, yeah. So you know where he is? How would I know where he is? You just said you're his friend and agent. I don't know where he is. You don't? What about his wife? You mean Alice? What? Does he have other wives? No, I was just, well, she's missing. I know she's missing. You're friends with the Wakes, aren't you? Sure, I told you. Alice is an old friend, but not her. No, she's a friend. Look, we don't see eye to eye on some things, that's all. You sure you don't know anything? I mean, this whole thing, the way you're acting now, I start to get ideas. For example, say there's a marital problem. Maybe she stepped out on him, like found out, took it out on her. You're covering up for your meal ticket? Oh my god. What? It happens all the time. I mean, I know you're not the other man, right? I can't see a woman like that going for you. Hey, I get plenty, buddy. Look, what's wrong with you? I got some bad coffee with Rose and passed out. Suddenly you're in my face with you saying, listen, I'm an injured party here. The victim. I don't care about any. I just want. You don't care? What is this? Below your pay grade? FBI? Well, my lawyer will make you care. Just tell me where, like, am I psychic? Do I have a map in my pocket with a big X on it? Does he post status updates? Hell, by now I wouldn't tell. By now I wouldn't tell you if I did know, because I think that shit crazy. Believe me, I know crazy when I see it. Like, how would you like to be charged with obstruction of justice? Oh, it's on now, man. It's lawyer time. I want my phone call. You haven't read me my rights. You're not even under arrest. Well, you're still a jerk. You're not arresting me? No. Well, then I'm out of here. Heads. There's Barry for you. Oh. Oh no, Pat Maine. Local disc jockey, a radio personality, Pat Maine was obviously resentful of Nightingale, though it isn't quite clear why. Unfortunately, his reaction was somewhat typical. Very few Bright Falls citizens, if any, seem to respect Nightingale much. It's notable that the interview takes a strange turn at the end, obviously, but both Nightingale and knew much more than they're saying, but neither party was willing to commit to saying it out. I'm interviewing Pat Maine, a local radio host. Thanks for coming in, Master Maine. Against my better judgment, you realize that the only reason I'm talking to you at all is because Sarah asked me to? Yeah, I'm very touched by you. Your agent. I'm not going to take any abuse from you. Not after our last encounter. Listen, that was all a misunderstanding. No, it wasn't. No. It was reckless, dangerous, and stupid. And you were in no condition to be working. Look, can we just concentrate on this interview? Get it over with? You sit down. Please. Alright. What do you want to know? What did Wake want with you? I have no idea. Really didn't have any time to talk. I thought he dropped in for an interview. We met on the ferry when he and his wife were coming to town, and he wasn't interested in one in. I said he should look me up if he changed his mind. It would have been a bit of a catch, especially with the Deer Fest coming up. A celebrity would attract people outside the immediate area. That's that's not why he was there. He said that. Said that? He couldn't say what he wanted before we were interrupted. If I hadn't said he was at the studio on the air, things would probably have gone differently. Trust me, you got lucky. Wake's trouble. Really? I think I'm a fair judge of character. Agent Nightingale? And that's not the impression I got. Suit yourself. I did wonder if he had anything to do with the situation at the trailer park, but he seemed so unlikely. I suppose I was wrong about that. Even so, I really can't imagine that anything Wake had done could be worth all this effort. You probably can't. Me, I don't have to imagine. That sounds ominous. But as Mr. Maine, trust me on that. It's no joke. I've seen things you wouldn't believe. You should consider the possibility that your experience doesn't make you an expert or improve your judgment. It may not make you as unique as you think. What are you trying? What do you? Are you telling me that you know what Wake is up to? I don't know anything about Mr. Wake. Perhaps if you were to tell me what he has done, that relates to an ongoing investigation. I can't discuss it with you. See, that's the thing. Nightingale, yeah, Nightingale keeps having to say it's an ongoing investigation because there really isn't an investigation. Okay? That's the problem. There's no record of an investigation or anything. And um because Wake hasn't done anything at all. There's no proof of him doing anything. Sure, you got a few fights with a paparazzi and stuff, but the FBI ain't gonna just jump up and all of a sudden be like, "Oh no, we gotta catch this guy." It's like they'll probably just look at that, laugh it off, and move on. They'll laugh at it, and then, like I said, something's pushing him, and I don't know how to. There, it's out there how he got to this point, but I have to find him. That leads to an envoy. Or the sheriff, or anyone else, it appears. You're friendly with the sheriff, huh? This is a small community, Agent Nightingale. It's obvious that you have no idea what you're doing. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to tell you something important. And you know something. I need you to tell me. I need help here. Frankly, I'm not prepared to discuss that with you. I'm sorry, Agent Nightingale, but I don't trust you. But you trust Wake. Does that really? I don't really know him at all, but he seems to be less of a loose cannon than you are. Here, just get the. Yeah. So yeah. So Maine, I guess Maine knows where he probably knows more about the town's secrets than, and probably about the lake. It's just he keeps it to himself unless you can be trusted. Then again, they have a secret society and stuff that deals with weird things that happen in the town. This is the last of Agent Nightingale's taped interviews, apparently. We're outside the gates of Dr. Harmon Cauldron Lake Lodge. I had a time. I had a hard time making out Hartman's words, which came from a speaker. Again, Nightingale recorded this without the interviewee's knowledge. As the recording begins in mid-conversation, unlike in the other interviews, Nightingale now sounds undeniably drunk, and his poor conduct here speaks volumes about the immense pressure he must have felt. Don't think you can be or don't think that can be arranged right now. I'm afraid we're a little understaffed today, so I'm very busy. Should make an appointment. I have reason to believe that a fugitive from is there's a fugitive from justice on your premises. That's ridiculous, agent. Coming in. Listen, Hartman, you better cooperate here. I'm a federal agent. I'm well aware of that. Your reputation reached me long before you did. What's that supposed to mean? It means, Agent Gale, that you have demonstrated an unfortunate tendency to wave your gun around and go about your duties under the influence of alcohol. Do you really think no one would notice? Agent, I deal with substance abusers daily. You're a classic addict, unable to get through the day without drinking, yet living in obvious denial of your condition. Seek help. Yeah. Oh man, here we go with this nonsense. What's your crutch, Agent? A discreet hip flash, perhaps? Do you tell yourself it's nothing? Here's an illuminating little experiment. Does the thought of pouring it all out on the ground make you a little panicky? What a cliche. Shut up. As you wish. Good day. Leon apparently attempts to collect himself. Then he sounds the buzzer repeatedly. Agent, this is completely unacceptable, guys. That your time isn't spent on anything constructive. But I have patients that need my help. Patients that are actually willing to work through their problems. Done with, Hartman. I don't give a rat's ass about your patients. Is Alan Wake in there? No, I told you that already. Why do you persist on this line of inquiry? I'm not buying that. I was telling Wheeler, and this is the only place he would have gone. That means Wake is probably here too, Agent Nightingale. This is private property, and I will not allow you to disturb my patients. Okay, so before I move on, we're at the point. This is the point. During this interview, this is where, like he said, he was tailing Barry Wheeler. He was tailing Barry, who Hartman called Barry to let him know that Wake was at the lodge. Barry comes. Meanwhile, Nightingale was tailing him. Barry at this point is locked in a room because Hartman needed Barry out of the way to keep this plan going. And of course, like Nightingale said, the only place Wheeler and Wake can be is in the lodge, which is true, but Hartman is too smart because, number one, Nightingale is an agent of the FBI, so he can't just walk right in. This is private property. I will not allow you to disturb my patients. Yeah, I can get a warrant. How would your fragile little patients like that? Oh, I'm thoroughly intimidated by your mighty authority now. Listen, you smug snob. Would you like it if I busted through this gate and knocked you around a little? Agent Nightingale, first of all, I'm recording this conversation, so you might want to watch what you say. Secondly, you're not dealing with a hick now. I know the law, and if you can get a judge to grant a warrant, I'll be glad to cooperate, but you won't get one. Be advised that any further communications with me are to be made through my lawyer. Believe this. Good day, Agent. Agent Nightingale enters his car, followed by a scream of frustration and heavy thumps, accompanied by the car's horn. Agent Nightingale is there, starts his car and drives away. Presumably, he has forgotten that his tape recorder is on. Occasionally, he talks to himself, but the recorder can't pick up the words over the car's engine. Recording ends when the tape runs out. Ah, the manuscript. I think we're gonna pause there for a moment. I didn't expect this to be so long, to be honest. We're gonna pause there. Okay. It is unknown just how many pages made up the manuscript. It's 109, my friend. It's a lot. And if you get all of them, you get an achievement. 2 achievements, actually. Well, can be 2, depending on the mode difficulty at the time. But if you get them all, well, congrats. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break real quick.